So, characters. There's two kinds of characters. You got the good guy, which is the protagonist, and you have the bad guy, which is the antagonist. In most of my books, the good guy is Game Knight 999. He's the main star of the books, and people really like seeing him in these books. The bad guy most of the time is Herobrine, but sometimes it's some other people. And so those are the ones that I tend to use. What's really important when you choose a good guy and a bad guy, that they have to be there needs to be some kind of flaw to them. Like in my stories with Game Knight, his flaw typically is he's afraid and he has to deal with his fear, or he isn't very confident and he's afraid he's going to let people down. Things like that. When he was with his sister in the books, his sister was kind of annoying. He thought he always had to watch after her, and he didn't realize that she's a strong person and she can take care of herself, and she's very confident and competent. So you need to have some kind of flaw to the character, because through the story, the character is going to learn through all of the adventures you're going to put them through how to deal with this story. So in my books, Game Knight learns about how to face his fear. He learns about how to handle responsibility. He learns that his sister is a strong person, and even the smallest of people can be a hero. So you learn something through the story, and this is really important because this is why we read the book, is to read about what happens to the character. In the short story that I'm making here with Watcher Faces the Wither King, Watcher's flaw is he has very low self-confidence. He doesn't feel like he fits in. And so these are all things that kids in your classes probably know a lot about. But the warriors make fun of him because he can't use a sword. He's too weak. He can't ride a horse because he's not very athletic and good at that. And so they say he's not a real soldier, he's not a real villager. And so he feels bad about that. Oh, excuse me. And so he wants to fit in, but he doesn't know how, because all he can do is use his bow and arrow. And so they give him the job up on the watchtower, and he messes that up because he daydreams a lot. And so they don't believe him now as well. So he has all these things that he's struggling with through the story, and that's what he's going to learn to deal with and feel successful at the end. Karkin, on the other hand, the King of the Withers, he has a thirst for gold. It's unquenchable. All he wants is to get gold. He's obsessed with gold. And so that's going to drive his behavior and end up driving him to make a poor decision at the end that will cause him to be destroyed. So that's his thing. Now, it's important when you make a bad guy that you make him bad. If you have a bad guy that's just a little mean, that's not going to be compelling for the reader. The readers really need to love to hate your bad guy. That's really important. They have to cheer for the good guy, and they have to empathize with the good guy. If the good guy's pathetic, then that's bad. If he's too pathetic, then they don't cheer for him. They just think he's pathetic. But the bad guy has to be bad. And so you really need to show that in the writing, that the bad guy is an evil guy. You don't want him so bad that it causes kids to have nightmares all the time. That might be too far over the edge. We're not writing a Stephen King novel here. But there needs to be some reason for him to be bad so that his behavior is believable. He can't just be bad for no reason at all. And the readers have to love to hate him. In my books, the readers really love Erebus, the king of the Endermen. I don't know why, but that really resonated with readers, and they really love him, and they were really mad when he disappeared from the stories. And so he comes back later. But the general rule is, with characters, the hero can only be as good as the villain is bad. So you gotta have a bad guy so you can have a good guy. So you think about Darth Vader. He's a really bad guy. That makes Luke Skywalker look like a big hero, and you really root for him. And you really hope Darth Vader gets destroyed. Lord Voldemort, really bad guy, makes Harry Potter look really good. You're really excited when he defeats him at the end. So it's really important with these characters. When you design your characters, you have to design them with that in mind, so that the readers are going to empathize and root for the good guy, and they're really looking forward to see the bad guy fall down and get defeated. Okay? We'll talk about character names next. Bye.